Better Time with Eric, and the gentleman in front of me needs no introduction. He's a regular. He's part of the cohort. His chest hairs are chest hairing. You can see the whatever supplements he's been taking are taking effects.
Growth hormone, bro.
Sajid Vayani. How are you doing, bro?
Sasa, every time I come, it's Vayani. But by the way, I have a bone to pick. There's a guy called Fox on your team. Every time he puts a picture of me, he puts the one where I look like a terrorist threat. You know, the one that's posted or Guantanamo Bay has escaped.
You said you look like a Bitco
A Bitco sales rep.
Yeah. So I think moving forward, because this guy is he's very particular, you know.
Bro,
my pictures that you should use should be always a certain way.
Okay. We'll do this. You'll put up those pictures that are on my Instagram. Like we'll put one with a suit, we'll put another one with that bright
and then
shirt,
put the cheesy one.
And
there.
then put that cheesy one over here. And then we'll ask people, do you have beef now? If that was you. He has this whole ammunition thing and then he uses that one.
But how you doing, bro?
I'm sour. We were actually together last night. We caught up.
Hey, well, pause.
Sorry.
No, pause. You don't pause the pause, bro. That was like a very homo statement. We were actually together. We spent the better part of last night together.
You know, the more our subscribers grow, the more this relationship expands. So the line of the LGBTQ element.
No. Let's be clear. We met actually. Can't even call that dinner. It was late. There was food involved.
So a bit of context. We had just got done with a podcast on Coffee Pump. We were recording Earl and Mike Manani. You know them, yeah. So just to talk about the car stuff that's happening, the new taxes, and again, getting both those subject matter experts. And it was like 10:30, 11 at night. I'm not cool at. And I know you're always a guy that if I call you and you don't have anything the next day, you'll always show up.
But you called also. It's so funny. This guy called me. So yesterday I flew to Eldoret, and on the way back they served dinner, and I'm like, no, pack for me mine. And no, plain food is nothing to really write home about. So I carried my food. I carried my food home, and just as I was unpacking it to dig in, this guy calls, and he's like, "Is that food you're unpacking? Come meet us at Limuru Road." We came through. Shout out Iqbal. Shout out Kim. That was a fun time. But most importantly, I feel like we've been telling our fans, and I think like we've been edging these guys and girls are like, we want our fans to keep us accountable because we want to embark on a proper, documented weight loss journey. And this perfect example is yesterday I reached and this guy has ordered a bucket of chicken, there's pizza, and the eyes for sure.
Wait, let's not skip past the menu. There were two large pizzas. We were 4 people, and a bucket of chicken. But you saw how many people benefited from that meal.
So what happened was we ate a quarter of it. And of course, Sajid, being the guy that he is, he ended up giving out to some people who were hungry around, and he just gave it out. But for me, that whole thing speaks to a bigger thing that we potentially have. And I think it's reached a point, because we've talked about it for so long. We've started on and off. I've had my gym wins, then I lull, then I go hard, then I lull. But now I want to be accountable. So want to announce it here for the first time.
Maybe before we even get to that point, right? I think
right.
we give a bit more context of where we are in terms of our fitness, health, and regimen. So initially when I started the channel, this was post-COVID, 2021? I think 2023. Heartbreak, depressed, overweight, and I was like, I need to do something. I need to get out of my comfort zone and put myself literally in front of the camera and tell people I'm going to do this. And this channel initially started as a fat loss channel, documenting everything. The whole thing was pushing myself to get further and further and further. And what I'd say is every Saturday I had a target in mind, because at the back of my mind I was like, if I don't put it, people will say I'm a guy who's full of shit. And so it kept me accountable. But the problem was the views weren't there. I mean, we were barely doing 500 views on some of those videos. So a lot of steam fell off. And then I got injured. The surgery came up. I had 6-7 months of recovery. And I had set all of a sudden all these tasks for myself with the fitness goals that I couldn't achieve. And the podcast had taken off. So I was like, okay, the podcast is easier. It's just sitting and talking to guys. Let me just focus on this and forget the fitness stuff. And what ended up happening was I put on, I think 30 kilos.
30 kilos,
30
wow.
kilos. So I was one day I'm literally like, I'm tired of just doing missionary position. This thing needs to go in so I can be more adventurous, But the reality was I was listening to a podcast that I think it was with you. And every time I'm talking, my breath, I was out of breath. I'm like, but I'm out of breath just talking. But
While seated.
And we were with Iqbal last night, and Iqbal can attest to the fact that last year, bro, our Saturdays and Friday nights, I'd call him, let's go to the gym. This is 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning after work. And we had that momentum, and we lost. I lost it. He kept on doing it, and we can put up a picture of Iqbal. I'll send you. And
Iqbal is ripped, man.
Iqbal is fucking ripped, bro. He's like shredded.
But there's something. So I want to put a picture up of me just 4 years ago, and because sometimes I tell people I used to run almost in a psycho man. I used to run 10 kilometers 5 times a week, and I remember the mental clarity around that season of my life, bro. I loved that state. Any form of insecurity around weight was not there.
You felt powerful,
I felt powerful. I had so much more energy, and I've been trying to get back into that state. Now, granted, circumstances were different then because I didn't have the job that I have now. But right now, I know if everything is planning, everything is planning. If I just diarize my life, because I've done it a bit, I've had like 3 weeks of doing it, and I'm like, it's very much doable. I'm finding I'm more effective at work. I'm happier. I have more energy to do podcasts. It's just a better mental state. But now those lulls, I want to use my audience. And it's interesting you bring up you're getting 500 views. I want to move away from the trivializing of views. 500 people, bro. 500 people is a number. It's not 2 guys saying 500 guys broke for sure can keep us accountable. So I want to put you to task. I want to put myself to task. I want to put the audience to task to keep us in check. Because today we start a journey. And we're going to be asking in the comments, by the way, because both can be done. We're gonna do a 6-month fitness journey.
Yes.
But 6 months doesn't mean let's revisit after 6 months. Periodically, we're going to have check-ins. That is weigh-ins, measurements, pictures of progress. So we want to culminate it in either a fight or a marathon. So
wait, Sasa, where did this fight come
no,
from?
but fight because Sajid will, if it's MMA, Sajid will kick my ass. He's trained. He's a different ball game. I want to box, bro.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Boxing rules.
I agree with you on everything. I think we should have. We'll get to the boxing element and why it's unfair, because you're what, 6'4",
6'3",
and I'm like 5'11" on a warm day.
But you got Tyson Holyfield.
Yeah, but the weight classes as well. You see, the thing is, there's a big weight difference between us. So we would never categorically be placed in the same class. But anyway, that's aside. I love the idea. I'm all for documenting this, having this community support us. The main thing is I want Eotwe and the Coffee Pump subscribers to be folks that tune in to see how they can better their life.
As well.
Do
it with us.
Do it with us. We want to bring in this community that will not only be physically stronger after the 6 months journey, mental clarity will be there, spiritually. We're trying to get ourselves to, what's the word, to jump up, supersede? Or, well, basically transcend into these peak physical humans that we can be, which will then unlock a lot of things. Now, for the fight, I think the fighting is a good idea.
Let's fight now.
And remember I told you the
no, but no kidding. This guy, I've seen him. We've hit the bag a few times, and when I was new and I was a novice hitting the bag, Sajid was there kicking the bag, and he looked to the left. He's like, "Bro, what are you doing? Come and show you at least a few things." Because I was just hitting the bag willy nilly. This guy actually has some know-how.
So all credit is to a guy called Omer Jamal.
Put Omer on the screen. Fantastic trainer,
bro. So I recently caught up with him. There's a difference in energy when you're with someone who can genuinely kill you. Like, he looks so innocent, but the capability he has,
he looks more innocent than Fox, man.
Bro, it's more innocent. Like, he looks like a librarian from Ethiopia. That's how I put up that picture. But I've seen this guy train. I've seen the motions he goes through. When you're at a place and you have 3 of Omer, you feel untouchable. But that energy sort of comes to you as well. Because when I'm training with him, it's a whole different ball game. Like, literally what I'm feeling is I feel like a superhero. And I think there's something about being present around positive energy and people who are generally high on testosterone. So for context, when I started with him, I did a podcast with him initially because he had just launched a competition about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and mixed martial arts, and why he felt that as a man, it's a must you know how to use your body as a tool for defense. especially given the world we live in. And I thought it was very interesting because I'd never really delved into combat sports outside of the visage of the TV, the entertainment aspect. Am I capable of doing that? So the first podcast I did with him, I told him on the side, do you mind if I train with you? Can we get a session in? I was like, for YouTube.
How was the first session, bro?
I've never been humiliated more in my life. And it just made me realize, you think you can fight, boss.
And in today's world, the problem is this idea that you think you can fight because you are that guy in high school.
Bro.
You're in for the shock of your life if you approach the wrong guy. Even if he looks small and he's trained, oh my goodness.
Yeah. So, sorry.
You're going to have a long day, man.
No. So we get to the gym, and the first thing is, let me test your fitness. And that time I was working out, so it's like, it's pretty decent, but let's turn things up a notch. On my Apple Watch Series 6, my heartbeat was touching 150, 160, the red zone. I threw up, and he's like, well, that's just a warm-up. We still need to go. And then the way he was moving, his bodies, his blows. So when you hit, you think you hit really quickly, especially with a jab, right? The speed at which he was coming to me, I was just cowering.
Winching,
I was cowering down like this. And this is a guy that barely weighs 75 kilos. So fast forward, 6 months in, he's built up my capacity. My strength has increased. We start literally sparring with him.
It's beautiful to be capable, huh?
You know, the thing is, I accidentally, because you go through the motion. So he gives you combos, 1, 2, 3, kick, 1, 2, 3, kick, defense, kick, like 5, 6 combos. And he ingrains them in you as he's typing in this program. So your software, he's programming it. And at the same time, he's upgrading your hardware. So then the software just basically goes into that autopilot mode, where if someone kicks you, you know how to block and then return.
You still have it?
So I'm getting to that. Anyway, through this process, I accidentally landed a kick on him. And I was like, hey, that's nice. He put me back in my place saying, humble yourself. So the way he approaches the training was fantastic. And up until my surgery, I'd gone to the point where I'm like, forget gym. This is the new high. Because my body, first of all my back pain went. My hips were so tight. My legs, everything changed because I'm moving my body in a way that's never been done before. I mean, how many times have you tried to raise your hip in your life? This is a functional movement that can help you in your daily job. And so as a machine, if I said I could dedicate just 12 months to training with him, the person I am, physically, mentally, and spiritually, at the end is completely different. But I even felt powerful.
How painful is it initially?
So the first day, you're extremely sore. And the thing is, now this goes back to meeting him 12 months later and training back with him. So one thing is, for a comparison note, whenever I used to work out with him on the Apple Watch, Series 6.
Sitting in numbers.
But Series 6 is a shit one. They're much better ones. The burn rate for 1 hour would be maybe 1,200 calories. And that's extreme pushing it. So my cardio capacity had gone up. And I was still able to match the combos except towards the end. We did with him last week, Tuesday. Bro, 1 hour in, I've passed out maybe 500 calories, half of what we had done.
You can taste that blood in your throat.
I had kicked, so basically, because you do your combos, you do your jab, cross hook, kick. The shin was so messed up. But within half an hour, I was kicking back to the same strength. He said, look, the software is still there. It's the hardware that's deteriorated. So we need to continue programming the software with more combinations and get your hardware back up. Because it stays with you, because it's reps upon reps upon reps. Now, I understand you come from a boxing school. Boxing is great. But bro, if you try and kick someone...
First of all, the reason I'm very apprehensive about MMA, one is I can't be injured even in the slightest for like...
That's jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu, you're bending knees.
And then I have some bitch-ass shins, man. My shins are some bitch-ass...
You think I
some softy-ass... But let me ask, because first of all, to the guys who are going to walk this journey with us, not everyone who's walking this journey is necessarily chubby to begin with.
Yes.
But fitness and chubbiness, those are two separate things. You could be slim, you could be cut, but you're not fit. So the aim is to get fit and have targets of things in your personal life, goals that you want to achieve that are tied to this whole journey, because it's a holistic thing. It's mental, it's physical, it's spiritual as well. So it's a trifecta of self-improvement. So
yes.
It's not just for the big guys.
Yeah. It's for everyone.
And I want us to have like a structure of what this actually looks like, because I want to incorporate, I'm a cardio freak. I think the addiction in me, I love the endorphins of cardio. People, contrary to popular belief, even as I am right now, bro, I have quite a bit of cardio. Like, I can run far, maybe in a relatively slow time, but I can keep going. So I want to incorporate cardio. I want to do proper weight training, strength training, but also I want to pick up boxing, bro.
You've given me such a brilliant idea.
So how do we do it, man?
Okay, so
You're the admin guy.
no, because again, we're thinking about this together. You know, all the juices are flowing.
Put the PayPal on the screen right now.
That's you're that guy asking for money. Don't send money yet.
Serikali's idea.
Okay, so what I'm thinking is, we do vlogs on each of our channels that's related to this. So, it's us being put in different walks of fitnesses. So for example, we will do a vlog that tracks day one of us lifting weights. We go and do workout with Lee Aesthetics. We get a coach. So that could go on your channel. On next channel, we do day one of a boxing class.
Are we competing?
No, it's just us being put to the ringer, right?
Let's compete.
No, the competition aspect is there. We're pushing each other. It's not us fighting with each other.
Yes.
It's us. You see, the thing is, the biggest competition is you, not me. I've got a bigger dick than you. You can't.
No, you don't have a big dick than me, bro.
Ah, yeah, sawa. 12 inch divided by... Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. Sasa, what we do is, let's say we go to the gym. Day one, we do, so we've got a bench press, we've got a squat, we've got certain lifts. We track what your day one lifting weight is. We track what my day one lifting weight is. And we're doing sort of a vlog tracking those parameters, all right? So that's day one. When it comes to MMA, we do a day one routine. We see the shape of us at the end of it. And again, you guys can comment and let us know. So that's a video we're doing. There'll be an Eotwe vlog, there'll be a coffee pump vlog, but they're day ones, all right? We see how we start and we see how the video ends, all right? That's day one. Then we do a marathon try. Me and you go for a jog. Vish and Fox and... I was going to say Hansel.
And Veno.
Veno. They just document us running. We get our day one records, like how far did we go.
How far,
yeah.
heart rate, speed, all of that.
And then what we do is we go into a boxing. So we do day one, how we compare. We can do a light spar with each other, but just our day ones, right? We do that separate to the vlog. And then every 3 months we have checkpoints of those all those
parameters.
Same disciplines, right? And we also have an end day. So it's us being put in different physical sports to test our caliber and push ourselves further. So the main aim is to improve in all these disciplines. I want us to do golf as well. We go a day one golf. We do shooting as well. We go a day one shooting. We do paddle. No, paddle is gay.
No, let's do paddle, bro. I feel like paddle will be a great sponsor, bro.
What do you guys think?
I feel like paddle will be a great sponsor.
Sound.
And I feel like I'd be great at it.
Okay, so but you get what I mean. So this will keep beyond the podcast. What we have is we have this community that will now we're ciphering them through these different avenues where each of these things are meant to make us better as a person, right? We've picked physical stuff, but also a lot of these elements have psychological. So like golf, for example. People think golf is shit. It's an easy sport. It's not.
I'll tell you my golf experience.
Okay, but you agree with the process?
No, of course.
So we do these vlogs. We keep ourselves accountable. What I want is also mentally for us to do something, a challenge.
But now let's also regiment it, because yes, that on the content side, of course, makes 100% sense. But now, what does a day to day? Because this is a journey of every day look like.
Okay.
What does that look like? Because I swear by, because of the nature of our jobs, I swear by our 24-hour gym. That's a given, where I can access the gym at any time of the day, depending on my roster, depending on how my day looks like, and so can you. And I propose we sign up for, of course, gym. That's the basis. We get we sign up for either a combat sport, like an actual trainer. Either I would propose boxing. Get someone to train us like proper, and then as we document, we also periodically also look at the health parameters. So that's like you've talked about someone called Lee Aesthetics.
Yeah. So Lee is one of the persons I'd recommend in the fitness industry. That is Fitness Health 101. He does everything scientifically. I've worked with him for the longest time. I trust his truth compared to everyone else's.
Not Gashao?
Gashao does...
Put Gashao on the screen right now.
Yeah, Gashao is good. Gashao, but I haven't worked with him, so I can't give an opinion. I've heard he's got a lot of traction behind him. Lee, for me, is someone I've worked with for prolonged periods, so I can give confirmation that he is who he fucking says he is. All right? We need to have a day one with him, where he sets our weights, our measurements, our this, so the audience is aware. In fact, one of the videos and vlogs we need to do is we need to go to him. He needs to test our parameters, our strengths, and that's the day one. And then we have a follow-up over there. For daily accountability, you see, the thing is with Apple Watch, the reason I'm recommending you get one is there's an activity.
To get rid of the rolly for now.
When you're working out.
Of course, I'm joking.
Yeah. That's a nice watch, by the way.
Thank you.
How much did it set you back?
It was actually a gift.
I know.
Yeah. Shout out the folks, man.
Shout out the folks. So, who's interrupted? This is my podcast. So, put your hand up when you want to talk.
Put a Muindi guy whipping some black guy on the screen.
We're continuing the tradition. If you guys see our chats outside of WhatsApp,
oh my god.
Okay. So for the activity, what it does is
describe what a daily regiment for you ideally would be.
Okay.
Like daily.
You have to have non-negotiables. Okay? The non-negotiables are steps, first of all. Minimum 7,000 steps on day one, not 10,000. Right? We have minimum 7,000 steps on day one. That's why I need you to have a step tracker. All right? And again, I want to preface all this by saying the activity app on the Apple Watch, why it's important is because if you have it, you and I can keep tabs. So you will see what I'm working out on a daily basis. And if I don't, you're my accountability partner. But beyond us, we also need a third person, a third-party subjective person to be there and assess us and keep us accountable. Okay? So maybe that can be the aesthetics, or we have to decide. This is kinks we have to work out. Non-negotiable is your steps. You need to do 7,000 a day. Again, non-negotiable is the glasses of water you've drank. All right? Again, based on size, it's different. Maybe 3 to 4 liters, 4 to 5 liters. Non-negotiable.
200 liters for this guy.
Yeah. Working out every day, I wouldn't say I'd recommend that.
Not necessarily every day.
Every day, yeah. But
5 times.
And then sticking to your nutrition. Now, for me, I know how to measure protein, carbs, and fats. And for those that cannot afford a coach, there's an app. There are 2 apps. There's one by Dr. Lane Norton called Carbon. It's a subscription based. What you do is it's $10 a month or so. You put in your metrics, your weight, your size, your activity levels. It gives you your protein, fat, and carbs breakdown. And in the app, there's a nutrition tracker as well. So everything you eat, you measure and you put in. So at the end of the week, you put your start weight and your end weight. It then adjusts your calories based on how much weight you've lost. So it's a cheaper alternative to getting a coach who may charge you $5,000 a week or $10,000 a week. So Dr. Lane Norton, check him out. I highly recommend him in terms of just the nutrition knowledge and anything to do with muscle building and fat loss. He was formerly part of another company called Avatar Nutrition. Avatar Nutrition has the same principles as Carbon, but then he split. So those 2 companies, same pricing. I'd say Avatar Nutrition has a richer nutritional, database. But the way it is those 3 fundamentals is we stick to the macros of the nutrients every day, we stick to the steps, and we stick to the water intake. And then we start adding layers. And the layers are, all right, we have to go to gym at least 4 to 5 times a week. If we're doing push-pull legs, we have to document that.
And that's also, that motion is also tracked on the app.
So the activity, I'll give you an example. On Tuesday, I worked out, I did kickboxing, right? So it shows 577 calories.
Yeah.
So it tells you that Sajid worked out. This is how much calorie he burned. So that's how we keep ourselves accountable. And then we have, you can do daily weigh-ins, which I'd recommend, because your weight differs based on what you've eaten the previous day. You may have not eaten the whole day, and then you eat all your meals in one sitting. You're going to weigh in quite differently in the morning.
Yeah.
So what you need is you need to track the average of each week. So every morning when you get up empty stomach after you take a piss or shit, no drinking water or anything, you do your daily weight. And then the week averages. So there has to be a trend of us going downwards. All right. So that's one thing.
Is MyFitnessPal an app that we can use?
Yes. So MyFitnessPal is a food tracker that you can use. It has even a richer tapestry of selection of
Because I've
foods.
used it before. It's pretty
Excellent,
good.
yeah. You can use that compared to, but it doesn't give you guidance. It's you to track and you to measure your own output. The automation that Carbon and Avatar have is seriously, I'd say on another level compared to MyFitnessPal. You have to spend a bit more. Or the cheapest solution is you just go to AI and you can create a chat that
You said $10, right? $10 a month.
$10 a month.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think $10 a month. The other option is for nutrition tracking. You could go to AI, and you can just type in a prompt that says, "I want a flexible dieting macro breakdown for protein, carbs, and fats. I'm going to give you my daily weight. I need you to give me based on my activity level and consumption. You just need to figure out the exact parameters, have it basically create that structure for you and give you nutrition on a week-to-week basis and say, I will touch base with you on Sunday with average weight, and then you can give me new nutrition protocols based on how much weight I've lost. You have to just work with it. That's a cheaper example. So that's how I'm thinking we need to start this.
Now, an important part to mention here is accountability, because in the past, this is like our fourth go. This is the only first time we're doing it on camera because we realized we need to be accountable.
Yeah.
I think we need to find a way to have like a penalization of sorts for falling short, because in the past, I can just go quiet. You go quiet, we fall off, then we reconvene and we lose steam. So what are we going to do to keep ourselves accountable? Because it's hard, the days will be harder or easier than others.
I think the biggest penalization is for people to comment fat fuck on each of our channels if we don't continue with it. I mean,
but this is now on a daily basis. How are we keeping accountable? Yeah, how are we keeping accountable? Because for me, that's very important. I don't want to start something and then week 3 I'm on my own.
Yeah.
And then I can't come and beat you up. I can't come and pull you out of the house or vice versa. So how are we going to keep ourselves accountable? That for me is very important, because I know you have the gear. I have the gear. I've engaged it before.
We need to have this podcast, whether it's on your channel or my channel, tracking this.
Once a month?
No, once a month is too far apart.
Twice a month?
I think twice a month. And it's us going through our metrics. Again, it's the podcast.
Once a week, bro. One more mine next on yours, like that. We alternate. But that accountability has to be like you're in your face for what the hell. Are you doing this? Are we not doing this? Kind of thing.
How would you guys recommend we do that? We create a Google Sheet that everyone can access and then we input stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, so Google Sheet that we will be editors, but everyone can view. Right? We'll put them in the description to track our progress. What it will have is basically day 1 up to day 120, workouts done, total calories burned. We'll probably have to put some thought process behind creating it. And did you track your nutrition? Again, I'm thinking out loud. It's just some stuff we need to work on. But a Google Sheet that you and I can edit and everyone can view and see where we are. And we also have measurements of our waist, everything.
Because the reason I brought it up is because, the reason for even this whole podcast today was accountability to each other and to a wider audience, so that we actually reach these targets. Because this is health, bro. This is health. It's tied to so many things. It's health, well-being, longevity of life, mental health, and just general improvement. If we work on ourselves, everything we do, podcast, career, relationships, everything will empirically improve.
Yes.
Just by that fact. But now something else interesting was what to attach to this whole process is, because we do content, so there's a content side, but we also want to vehemently approach brands and perhaps document the whole process of trying to get someone to sign on to us guys doing this journey together and hedge their bets on us. It could be promo, it could be whatever.
Betika. Okay. No.
In a simple world, I would have loved it to be where the audience can, like, on a platform via betting platform, bet, and
I wouldn't do betting.
No, that can work here.
Because of religious purposes. Offline we can talk differently.
Scientology, they don't allow?
They don't, bro.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm not
man.
It's unfortunate.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Plus my brand as well, sobriety.
I have an idea of how to, and Iqbal actually mentioned this. We can do a vlog of our day one status with Lee, but we can also do a body composition metrics. You know those machines you hold? It gives you your body fat percentage.
Like yeah.
So that's our vlog day one. This is where we are. And this is the plan. So we have to do a vlog that's separate to this. It can be an Eotwe vlog.
You have like 96% fat, you guys.
Yeah.
4% water. 1.8% muscle, you guys.
It's like when you
but us guys
when you sweat, it's like blue band.
but us guys putting ourselves out there like that also is part of the accountability, because bro,
But you agree with that? We do that.
Yeah.
So we do a vlog where we go work with Lee. We take our measurements. We get Lee involved. We go to I have to figure out which.
There's a place at Village that Iqbal mentioned. I'm not sure.
This is I think VMX. They charge 5K or something.
Yeah.
So we have to approach brands like that and tell them that we need to have your support. So if anyone knows any gyms that have these health and fitness trackers that can check our body composition and give us starting stats, that will be the day one. And then each of us will have recommended goals. It can't be your weight loss versus my weight loss again,
Because different scale.
Different scale. But we will each have our own personal targets. But I'm going to try and send you a picture to put of me here when I was around 75 kilos.
Let's put a side by side of how far off we've gone. Because I have a slim picture, you have a slim picture, just to show the audience that it wasn't always this way.
Chill, let me
Literally letting oneself go.
I saw the picture of you, like the one you're sitting on the sofa, bro.
Bradasky.
You're a handsome guy. Chill, let me just go through.
Don't make me. But for real, I think I'd also want to. You don't even look like the same guy. It looks like your younger brother.
Okay, ignore the sex tapes on the side.
No, for real. That means it's possible.
Yeah. So, and what I'll say is there's definitely a lot more muscle mass, which is.
But an element I want to, of course, I wouldn't want you to post that on the screen. It's a bit
nice.
It's a bit. Hey.
What do you think? Hey, would you hit that?
Crazy guy. But
you've seen the back though.
Yeah, it definitely ripped. I want us to document the process of also trying to get brands, the rejections, because it's a whole lifestyle thing we're incorporating.
I love that we're doing this.
It's long overdue, bro. It's long overdue.
You know, I love you no homo.
Like this thing for.
By the way, just before we continue, this guy is getting a lot of hate for having a windy friend.
No, by the way, shout out Mike.
Who's this windy you're chilling with?
Shout out my homie Mike. The other day he abused me. He's like, you guys nowadays all you care about is your podcast and you're that windy friend of yours. I'm like, hey. I think also to expound, sometimes, obviously because of this newfound lifestyle of job and podcast, the reason we keep intersecting is because we're in the same field, and a lot of the times we meet around content.
Yes,
it's always content related.
Content,
yeah, and we're either planning, shooting, theorizing. So it's become part and parcel. So it's an organic thing. Shout out Mike, man. I'm gonna host you for dinner soon. So usistuke sana.
Like I'm also invited for that dinner.
But for real, I think in 6 months we'll look back and feel, if we stay the course and we just do it as I said, through all the pain. There's something about gym and working out, about the pain that I like.
It's so good.
Like I like that thing for waking up and overcoming that inner bitch of, let me just chill. No, then you overcome it, then you go. And then each exercise sucks.
Yeah.
But then after you finish and then you take a cold shower, me usually in the lift, I'm like, and then I feel like a champion.
Yeah.
I feel like it just puts you above it just by the mere fact of taking your health and accountability around your health and well-being. I think it already puts you at a certain place in society.
Yes.
Because your confidence naturally goes up automatically.
100%.
So that daily overcoming of a hard task, and the inverse is also true. Best believe if we try this and we start this and we bitch out, bro, best believe confidence will go down. Our audience is going to be like, you guys are a bunch of bitch ass niggas.
Yeah,
so it's important for us to see this through. So
I'm just visualizing this whole journey of us, and it's coming together. Like I know I was quiet out there when the families were interacting, but I was just putting all this, the possibilities again, from a content perspective of us keeping ourselves accountable, is so much, right? There's I can just imagine us doing a Muay Thai session or a boxing session, how it will look then in the future, or even us going for a climb Mount Longonot. The first time I climbed Mount Longonot, I nearly passed out. Doing that, just pushing ourselves physically, putting you and I in these different scenarios, right? And the thing you're saying about working out, the sweat equity.
Oh,
You know, the thing is, because you can, there's
man.
tears that come from your eyes that break you down, but the sweat you get from the gym is the one that builds you up. That sweat equity, every day going to the bank and just, this is my deposit of that hard work I've done. The feeling you get before entering into the gym when you're like, why do I have to do this? Versus you calling me after and saying, bro, I'm so glad I went to the workout.
like the
You have seen it in me. My personality is
your
so
moods,
different.
very, very, very.
I'm such a different person versus working out. Like, my parents see that quite well. When they meet me and I'm very negative, I'm very low.
You haven't gone to the gym.
I haven't gone to the gym, even at work, you know, because I work in an organization where I deal with such different personalities. When I don't work out, I'm like, this motherfucker's asking for it. I'm gonna give it to him. And then the HR manager is like, wait, Tulia.
Your anger gets, you become.
I have a very short temper. Do you think I have a short temper?
I've seen it periodically, but nothing crazy. Nothing apart from beating your girlfriend every so often. Of course, that's a joke. But
the working out keeps us accountable.
I want to also get to a point where, you know, right now I've run a few times and I did a 7K and I did it, but my feet suffered. So I want to get to a point where I can run. And for us, I think also that marathon, the idea of doing a marathon,
we have to do a marathon,
will be such a nice feeling. And let me describe for the audience the relationship I had with running at my fittest. So every day it was just looming because I used to run 5 times a week. So I'd wake up in the morning and there's this thing looming. It doesn't matter what I'm doing for the day. I know there's a 10K
that you have to.
That
you're
has
running 10Ks,
10 kilometers, 10 leaks. Asking Ricky, I was living with them at the time. I actually, it was so crazy. I got them into running. I used to beat Ricky in running, bro.
No way.
Ask him. It's crazy. I was crazy fit. So every it's so crazy. Before I even describe the run, when I went for my medical, because every year we're subjected to medicals for flying, the guy is taking my heart rate, and he's like, either you're really unwell, or there's something very rigorous you do, because my resting heart rate was just ridiculous.
Really? What was it?
It was. I mean, my resting heart rate was low because, bro, I was always.
Athletes' resting heart rates are quite low.
It was ridiculous. So it's like either he called it myocardia or something. He's like, either you have that or you have. I told him I had to even whip out my app and show him like, yo, this is my Adidas Fantastic. This is me every day. He's like, so you ran quite a bit. And then he went back to the file. He's like, I remember you started at this weight. Now you're this weight. It was worlds apart. We're talking 45, 48 kilos. Difference. That's a human being. That's a class 3 guy. Or that's me in class 3. Maybe a class 7.
But you know, on the resting heart rate, UFC fighters actually have one of the lowest resting heart rates because their body is so efficient. I think Michael Bisping has maybe sub 60s, maybe 50, 45 heart rate because his heart rate is...
Can you imagine David Goggins? So let me describe a run and why I'm so in love with running.
Tell me about that because I've never been a runner, so I want to understand the logic behind it.
So you start the day, you know, there's this thing. It's like homework. I have to do it. If I don't do it, I'll feel like a bitch. That's primarily. I know I'll let myself down if I don't do it. So you get into gear, you get into psych. Hey, now you go and start. Now you start the first 2 kilometers. The moment you start, because I used to track it, you're like, why did I come? Why did I start? And the kind of personality I have to see it through. There's no bitching out. Me, I'm a guy of... But as I'm running, I'm like, oh my God, why did you bring yourself here? You know you're a psycho. You have to finish. And that time, then you get that notification in your headphones. Distance, 1 kilometer, duration, 4 minutes, 50 seconds. And then gives you all your parameters. 1 kilometer down. Like, shit. Man, 9 more to go. Then continue. At some point, you're on 3. You're like, okay, 3 is not 1. It's better than 1. It's closer to half. Not too shabby. Then you run. Then you get to half. You're like, hey, now I'm somewhere. Then you get to 7. And 7 is like, fuck, 7 is good enough. You know, I think 7, if I quit now, I'm not such a bitch. But if I quit, I'm a bitch. Man, 7 to 8 is crazy. Then you reach 9. Then the world stops. It's like everything in your body is telling you to stop now. Like this last kilometer feels like you're running for the whole other 9. And then somehow at some point your brain kind of recognizes, hiya, maybe I have about 200, 300 meters left. So my mind would always go to, I'd be in a stadium. You know, they're at the end of a marathon, they come and do that lap in the Olympics. So in my mind, I'm picking the flag and perhaps music is playing in my ear. I know I'm past the halfway mark of the last kilometer. I'm like, maybe now 200, maybe now 100. And then out of the blue, distance, 10 kilometers, and now you're free. You can just stop and take it all in. That time your endorphins are just pumping. It's like,
I'm fucking getting goosebumps.
You feel like a champion, bro. And I'd feel so good about myself. You know, you're walking around, man, I have to get back to that state of fitness, and it's achievable. This picture here, that's just 4 years ago. Sometimes I show my colleagues, they're like, hey, he's not this, he's a different guy. And letting yourself slip into just, because, bro, I can't tell you when I added weight, but, bro, it's just...
it always starts very slow, and then you're like, next week, and then next week becomes next month, and then next month becomes...
So which marathon are we doing?
There's the half marathon, which is 24, what is it, 25 kilometers? Which one is it, Stand Chartered? I think it's next year. So again, you see, the thing is, we have to document it day one. You and I raw, we go with the guys, we record how far we can go up a hill.
Can you guys run? Yeah, I know. Hey, Venom is fit, bro. I've seen his videos.
If you,
Fox boxes.
Fox, I'm sure you can run.
He's refused to spar though. And in today as well, the problem is this idea that you think you can fight because you were that guy in high school.
Bro.
You're in for the shock of your life if you approach the wrong guy. Even if he looks small and he's trained, oh my God.
So, both of them seem like they have good stomach. Vish, by the way, when we climbed Mount Longonot, the guy was in a hoodie, not sweating. Man, I'm there dying. And we did a video for Mount Longonot. I was literally with a stick. Iqbal also, he's a buff guy, so he gave up halfway. But then he made the full run. Vish was not sweating at all. So I think these fighters have a different tank, yeah? But what I'm saying is we do a day one run. We see how far we get, all right? And when we give up and how we can maybe do continuously. My capacity to run continuously is shit. I'll probably do less than a kilometer.
I think running...
No, actually what we do is we put a target. Let's see. We put a target for 5 kilometers and we see how long it takes each of us to get.
And I think for me, what I'm getting here is also running for you is MMA for me. So it's going to be that uncomfortable zone.
I want you to try
MMA.
MMA.
I'm going to. I've been so scared of it. Bro, I'm telling you, I have some bitch-ass shins. I used to play football with guys, even when I was in SA in progress, in our flight school there. Bro, someone runs into me, my shin automatically. You know that can do that... it's like I'm some soft-ass tissue guy.
Which is weird because when you run, your shins get a lot of impact. So I was getting shin splints. So that means my legs were weaker than yours. The first day I hit a pad in MMA, I was like, man, mother chod, what is this thing? But, when I recently kicked it, the first kick was so hard. But after 10 kicks, you sort of build calluses upon it. And that's why these MMA guys, if you look at the thigh videos, these guys can kick trees with their legs and not feel anything.
And kick the tree down, bro.
And kick the tree down. So, again, pain is the fear. It's the fear of you moving forward. With whatever these ventures are, that step that you need to take, the first step is fear, all right? And then you get more comfortable within the fear. Then you embrace it. And that's where your true strength fucking comes out.
I love it, bro.
All right? So that's what you need
to do. So it's official?
No, it's the fact that we're doing this is sign stamped. We have witnesses over here. There's the Coffee Pump and Eotwe family that we're building, these two brands. They're supporting us. We want them to join us in this. And what I want us to create a community of individuals that push themselves further. All right? We're planning a live event in September with Connect Coffee. But what I want to do is, what if we do a live fitness event? Right, where we just meet, we talk with guys, we work out, we do runs, like a sports day.
Yeah.
Right, because we need
it's important right now in society. It's important as opposed to like meeting and knocking down some beers.
Imagine us in the best shape possible. Imagine us with abs, right?
Is abs possible for guys like us? Realistically,
I hope so. But I don't want to lose weight, and then I'm told there's excess. Yeah?
but let's also incorporate something. I wanna add on to this because, like we said, not everyone who will walk with us this journey is just doing weight loss. Because What other things are attached to this holistic switch? Like in terms of your personal life, it could be career, could be. What other things are you targeting also to achieve within the midst of this whole process?
So
That felt like a journalistic question.
No. So for me, the proverbial fat in your life, I think the heavier you are, the more fat you have in your life. All right, and
Both literally and figuratively.
both literally and figuratively, right? It's a deterrent to you living your capabilities and whatever you want to achieve in life. I feel if there's a roadblock, that's fat, right? But then if you have I want to frame it in such a way where, let's say we start off where we're 100 kilos, right? And we've got all this shit going on in our life. We're thinking slower. We're more emotional. We're not at full strength capacity. That means mentally we're also messed up. So that means every time you're faced with a challenge in your day job, the flat is clogging your process on how to think. So imagine as you start improving, the brain fog reduces. All right?
I like the fog analogy.
Yeah, so the fog, right now, all we're seeing is fog. Okay? We're not seeing clearly. And it's affecting our judgment. For me, it's affecting my relationships. It's affecting how I'm able to deliver as a sales guy. There's a difference in walking on when you're in shape with a suit and meeting someone and telling him, I know what I'm doing. Versus me now wearing these LCY Kiki pants and then suits that don't even fit. It's a different personality. And my boss was very quick to recognize that. In fact, he was trying, before he parted ways with the company, he was telling me, take 6 months off, go to a health camp. Because you as a person at the gym versus you as the person you are now, completely different. You have no energy, you have no vigor. The person you portray to the world, for the people that don't know you well, they'll say, oh yeah, he's normal. But for the people that know you truly, they can see the cracks forming. But then eventually it shows to the world. So one of the main things is, I think, beyond the veil of fat loss and muscle, is mental clarity. Not a lot of us have that. You see, the thing is, not a lot of us have exertion. If you have a really stressful day, if you've gone through the shit, if you've been basically run over, one of the best ways to get over yourself is actually going to the gym and sparring with someone or training MMA. And for me, from my personal perspective, what that did was being beaten by someone. That's the proverbial world. Just knocking me down constantly. But guess what? I got back up. I said, motherfucker, come and try me again. And I went after it. And that tells me, if I can take the weight of this bar, if I can take the pressures of this proverbial man trying to kill me and I still come out of it stronger, a bit better than yesterday, what can I do if I continue this momentum of positivity day after day?
And there's
after
a high.
day?
There's
such a high.
There's a high attached to self-improvement. I remember when I started this strength training thing, and yes, I'm a strong guy, but when it came to weights, I was such a bitch, man. Like
I remember
the lat raises I was doing. You guys were doing lat raises with 5 kilos.
I have a video of that. You want me to post? We can share it.
I'm looking in the mirror. As of recently, I think I was doing 15. I can't believe and 15 is still bitch, but I can't believe I was doing 5 in public. Like
So imagine that.
Imagine that.
5 kilos of shit from the world, it was putting you down. 15 kilos of proverbial shit now is putting you down. So you as a man are able to take more.
And off the philosophical side, because I think because we're at heart, we're kind of artists at heart. We just found ourselves we had to go the corporate route, etc. There's also the reality of you and I are almost mid-30s now. I'm 34, you're 33.
I turned 34 in April.
You turned?
Yeah.
Okay, 34. Bro, health, like even in terms of longevity and sustenance of life, bro, we're reaching an age where it behooves us to be healthy.
Yes.
Look at people in their 50s who didn't take care of their health and what that ends up being, bro. You can end up building a wonderful empire, but then now you can't enjoy it because you're sick, because your health is diminishing. We've managed to accrue millions of dollars, but everyone around us is enjoying it except you.
What's the point of it then?
It becomes a null and void. And the people I look up to, not just in like podcasts, just generally in society, health, one is my father. My father takes care of, my father has the gene. That's why we get it. He's a chubby guy innately, but he's been so conscious about, and the consciousness for him also came later in life. You know, at some point, I think he had a conscious decision to be like, yo, I need to get slim, and he's never let it go. And it's so commendable. He's now in his mid-60s, fit as a fiddle, and he still takes good care of his health. In the content space, Joe Rogan, bro.
Yes.
That regimentedness for you to ascend, transcend society and success, you have to have that sacrifice thing, and then it has to be regimented. So the excuse I've been using around how for like the first year in my job, I kept saying, my job is so tiring, man. You guys, we're only playing, it's just planning.
It's planning.
Time management. I'm the king of time management. So I've also learned when you don't have, you can regiment your day. I have the privilege of a roster. So I know Monday at this time, between this time and this time, all things normal, I should be doing flying here to here and I come back. There's no excuse around why I can't set aside an hour and a half, 2 hours for gym. It's ridiculous, actually. So I think we've emphasized that for sure this journey is going. I'd say some other things attached to this is I had vowed I'm going to get my ATPL before the end of the year. That's something I'm going to attach to this.
You've got how many papers left?
I just have 2 papers left.
Bro, you can do it.
Yeah, so again, that's just a time thing, planning thing. It's just planning how I fit in my study there. It's not even high school KCSE kind of study. It's just, bro, 2.5 hours a day for a select period of time, and I'll go and ace those things.
I believe you can, because I've seen your capabilities with all the past papers you've done.
Though I chap at the 6 was also the pack I burnt out,
I mean, let me pay you a compliment. You're definitely one of the smartest people I know. You're very intellectual. I think.
How much money do you want, bro?
No. Generally, Eric, you're not a dumbass, right? And I think a compliment I will pay you is you're what the de facto sales guy should be. You're able to fit into different pockets so well. You sort of chameleon yourself into these different topics of thought, and that's what a sales guy does. Is you can go into a room where no one knows you and you sort of shift the energy towards you. And I've seen that you've done it exceptionally well. You have the power to do so. You convinced me. I thought you were an asshole, but eventually, then I saw who you are. I saw what you had to offer. You're the one constant that's been pushing me to do better. And I appreciate the fact that we are on this journey where I see you uploading so much and I'm like, fuck, Eric's this busy. I need to get on top of it.
I must also pay you the same compliment in that this symbiotic synergy around what we're doing also has motivated me. Like, I see what you're doing, I get inspired, I get ideas. Midnight Coffee Run is revolutionary in the content space. No one has done anything like that before. There's so many things I like to make fun that you're an admin guy, but what I mean by that is like you have the ability to organize the idea. Me, I can have the idea, but you can put the pieces together, which is very, very commendable.
Kwani my shirt was there? Sorry.
Yeah, so I mean, it's been a beautiful journey. I know Mike is watching right now. He's like, I knew that Windy guy is the only guy I care about.
Mike, let's have dinner. I'm not that bad, bro. I consider myself black.
Mike is an awesome guy, by the way. I think God has blessed me. I've met such interesting people in life, and that I'm going to use that chameleon thing you said, because I get so many different things from these different people, and I think for the most part I'm the same to them. I play an encouraging role in a lot of people's lives, and they give me different things that I need in my own personal life, and I think it's a beautiful thing. And I can see the future of this if we just stick to it. Go ahead.
Speaking of that future, I think we were fascinating about what it could be. Oh, sorry, what's the right word? We were fantasizing, not fascinating. Sorry, we were fantasizing about what it could be. And it's made me realize very early on that the people in your corner can genuinely affect the trajectory of your life. All right? Forget family is important, but the energy you have around you. So if you have a community of like-minded people, right, that have one goal in place, it's so much easier getting those steps and getting those motions done. It was very hard running the YouTube channel solo. Right? Because I'm seeing the vision, but then people around me, yes, they're there, but they don't see it the same way you and I have in place, because this is our baby, right? And now we have, if you've noticed, the circle of people around us, Iqbal, let's say Brian,
Shout out Brio, man.
Bro, we need.
He's the biggest fan and critique people. Just for the audience, I know I like to teach English, but critique and criticize are different. Critique is a genuine objective review of something. Criticize is just negative.
Yeah.
So he critiques me so well and he keeps it so real. He's the kind of guy I always say, if God blesses me and I become a billionaire, he has to be in my entourage. Because he's the guy who will keep you grounded.
So Brio is the African Iqbal.
Kabisa. In fact, we said that yesterday.
Yes, this is exactly like. So you see, having these men in your corner, regardless of what they're going through, they sort of pivot us towards positivity. And I think it's also very important for us to include the right people in these brackets of ours. We've had people that have come in where they may be going through a lot of shit, but they throw us off. I think you and I also went through that. So it's very important to realize, and I'm urging you as a friend as well, is be open with me. All right? If you see me fucking up, give it to me straight and say, Saj, what the fuck is going on? You do that, right? But the times when I go aloof, where you're like, okay, Saj, what's going on? No, I need you to call me and tell me, motherfucker, what's going on? Get back on this shit. And I'm going to do the same for you, all right? Our association is so powerful. We cannot afford people to take away from it, because this vision that you and I have, all right, where imagine a warehouse of Eotwe and Coffee Pump, right? 2 studios. In the middle, there's a gym. There's a Joe Rogan S-style setup. Yeah. Imagine that. And that's a possibility that we can achieve.
It's very much possible.
In order for us to do that, we have to stay true to who we are. We can't go with the waves, because what will happen is high tides always come and go, right? It's you etched on the sand.
Hey,
it's a testament.
Poetic justice in the house, man.
No, you get what I mean?
No, absolutely. And
because it pisses me off that we're not where we need to be. I don't want us to become political activists and podcasts that don't resonate with the wider audience globally, right? I don't want us to become political talk shows. I know you have all this vision and stuff, but the mantra of these 2 podcasts should be, if you watch this, your life will get better. The human aspect. Humanity has strength in it. We need to take that strength out in ourselves, pass it on to the audience, and build this community. Right? So you're my accountability partner.
And vice versa. And I'll add something important, because my audience, people know that I've struggled with addiction. And tied to that is my mind races.
Yeah.
You know, my mind races. So
Bro, 5 a.m, you're messaging me.
So this has given me an avenue to just expand energy as well. The fitness journey is important. You've seen where my mind goes when I'm not on the right track, and you've pulled me out of those ideations before, because my mind can go, and I have the power of convincing. The same I can convince myself it's time to get fit, I can convince myself it's time for perhaps some mushrooms would not be a bad idea, and I can actually go. And many times you've pulled me out of that abyss, like, yo bro, what are you talking about?
Yeah, you know? There's an Andrew Huberman clip you need to play. Dopamine that you take via a pill or anything that's easily given to you will break you down, because your body's not wired for that. The release of dopamine has to be triggered by sweat equity and hard work. That's the way the body works. Anything that comes to you in a package, anything that comes to you from a screen, porn or so and so forth, will eventually finish you in the back end. The natural dopamine has to come from the sweat equity through the hard work that you put in. Right? That's the only way your life will elevate to a certain position. And when you elevate, your energy even changes, and all of a sudden the doors start opening up.
I always say the proverbial Isaac Newton, man, that guy never lied. For every action, equal and opposite. So if you gym hard, you'll get the results. If you take the shortcut of a pill, like you say, or a drug or alcohol, equal and opposite, man, you won't get that free high for nothing. Yeah. It's coming with a hangover. It's coming with some chomad somehow. It'll never. So that's why if you have 1 beer, you'll have a 1 beer effect. If you drink copiously, you'll have copious effects. There's nothing for free.
I mean, in your industry, in my industry as well, this turn-up culture, I mean, it's so normalized.
It's not a Kenyan thing, though. I feel like, because foreigners are like, I lived in South Africa. They have a strong, but I'm a 100% sober guy. But I understand that there are people who are not addicts who can partake. But like in SA, what I noticed, there's a beer culture. Beer, barbecue, braai, they call it a braai, shisanyama, shibin. It's beer, meat, football kind of thing. in Kenya, bana, there's places called Aluta. Aluta means, yani the rave has issued. I just don't want to go home. There's a place I can go. And if you notice over time, I started going out very young. I started going out as young as 15, 16.
I remember seeing you at Village Market playing pool.
Black Cotton, Village Market, drunk as a skunk. And what I noticed over the years, that's like 20 years in the making. We started off with dance floor. Like, grinding with our mama was always part of the night. I got 3 grinds, I got 3 grinds. I got grinded on. And maybe I got 2 kisses. That was a thing. But it's because there was a dance floor.
Yes.
And over the years, the dance floor has gotten smaller.
And smaller.
And smaller. So now people, the only dancing that's done is at your table where the drinks are. That's, and like our producers are a bit younger than us. Maybe they don't even remember the dance floor era. Yeah. Dance floor is a thing where, if you're undecided, you're either 50-50.
Bro, I haven't heard that name in so long.
It's 50-50 if you're living with your phone or not. Yeah. Because on the dance floor, there were guys who are masters, man. You're there, you're grinding up, you get, next thing you're done, your phone.
So you know what my earliest experience of clubbing was? Model United Nations. MUN. You remember that? It is a secretary. And when I started getting some...
ISK. Bro, do you remember I went day 1, day 2 as an observer, then I was kicked out.
I remember that. You came to ask me for my tie, and I'm like... You didn't have a tie, right?
No. Bro, I was dapper, but I wore my stud. So I was wearing a pink shirt, pink tie, dapper done. And other schools, they were being allowed to wear their earrings and everything. So I wore my earring. Miss Njoroge came and told me, Eric, please take that off. So I took it off, and of course, when we reached, I wore it, me being me. And at the end of the day at the bus, she's like, you disobeyed me, tomorrow you're not coming. But you get at the ISK bus, I remember Shorty seductive dancing on me, the way that she moves, she making me horny. Yeah. And then, man, those are fun times. I gave you your first sip of alcohol.
Yes. Wow. So maybe to guys that haven't watched the podcast, I'll give a bit of a story.
And this guy was a square, but he was a cool square. I think we've given this story before. A square is someone who's very cookie cutter, because your class you guys were a year younger than us. Yes. And how St. Mary's was set up was the 844 guys were like a bit more hooliganish, a bit rough around the edges. The IGCC guys were soft. And then now they're a year younger.
So to be fair, I was a former 844 guy.
Yeah.
Now what had happened was at 8, I had talked from the system. I had gone to Nakuru, and I was put in the American system. So after a year, I came back. They're like, okay, if you want to join KCSC, you have to start from Form 1 again. And I'm like, but my guys have gone to year 9, year 10. Won't I be held back there? Yeah, but because the system is so different. I'm like, fuck that. Let me go back to IGCSE. So if you remember, I was in blue class. Then there was gold class. So all guys from gold, we used to see them as babis. We were all merged into one. And then I was trying to find my friends over there that used to be gamers, that used to be a Kidogo Wild. Most of them had left and gone to Strath to do KCSC. And then I think by association, we ended up just linking up. I think we were talking about games outside the class.
This guy used to sag his pants. He was a bit of like a hip-hop guy. Oh. And I remember he used to walk with the bounce.
So we were talking about this yesterday. Actually, it brought such memories. I actually dreamt about it. This was in class 4 or 5. I had thrown a bash at home for my birthday. And there was a gentleman called Fui from Ghana.
Oh, tall guy.
Fui Gibedema. He had gifted me my first hip-hop cassette, which was 50 cents, Get Rich or Die Trying. And then there was a CD OST for Eminem, the 8 Mile movie. So I didn't listen to hip-hop before then, and I wasn't really into music. So I saved up for 3 months. I bought a cassette tape, and I put the 50 Cent album inside. Bro, that changed my life. And you know when you would open the album, the photo book inside over there.
It was an experience. I remember
such an experience.
Albums back then. My dad used to buy albums from a place in town called Muzikiland.
Yes.
And for some reason, my elder brother Kevin, who you've had even on Midnight Coffee Run, he asked for. So my dad used to give everything on merit. So top 3, top 5, depending on your capabilities. Yes. So Kevin was, I think, top 3, and he wanted an Eminem album.
Which one was this?
It was that what was it called?
Slim Shady LP.
Yes, the one that was
the Marshall Mathers LP. Sorry,
the Marshall Mathers LP. Put that on the screen.
Yeah,
this thing here changed our lives because my dad didn't know, or maybe turned a blind eye because my parents were also cool in the way that we used to ride out sex scenes. Yes. Like my parents never used to forward. Because when you're watching a movie and God forbid a sex scene comes, forwarding it is acknowledging it.
Yes.
So we would just, as a whole family, just ride it out. was there as a kid.
My mom used to get disgusted with those places.
So we here is Kevin. He has, I think he's like 9, 10, or no, he's like, no, I was like almost like 9. He's like 13.
Yeah.
And we have this Eminem, and he listens to it first because he had a system. And then he's like, yo, Eric, come. So I come and he starts playing for me these songs. Hey, you, don't fuck with Shady.
Yeah.
Cause Shady.
It was such...
Bro, that was the beginning of my contrarian ways. I realized, wait a minute. Because the whole time he's talking about being a rebel. Like, like fuck what everyone is telling you.
Everyone is telling you, exactly.
You can be your own guy. Hey, bro, Eric was born through that. My younger brother, who was young, little did we know just him being there in the environment, he was also listening. So the other day he posted it in the brother group and it's like, bro, you don't know how this thing changed my life.
It was significant, right?
Very significant.
I mean, just to compare the experiences, I remember when I got the CD, so the main sound system was downstairs in the living room. So I'd have to put the volume low and then go like this and then listen to the beat. Now my cousin Hamza dyed his hair blonde because he was a big Eminem fan. So I told him,
a stan.
He was a stan. So he said, why don't you come over for the weekend and bring the 50 Cent cassette, because he hadn't heard the tape. And then I think at that time, which is the one with the red curtains?
Curtain Call. What was it called?
No, it's the first
Eminem
one.
Show.
I think it's the Eminem, the one which had, but he had some. I'm trying to recollect the songs. I'll send it to Fox. Anyway, he put that. I think it had Stan, the Stan song. Do you remember that?
That was one of my favorite songs to date.
So he put it, and he had a radio system in his room with CD and everything. Bro, we literally spent that night just listening to the album over and over again. And then a few months later, I got gifted a CD player. Bro, I just remember putting on that music. And then I used to get bootleg CDs. Then I discovered D12. Bro, there's a song called 40 Ounce.
This chase down even know the name of my band.
Have you heard 40 Ounce? Where Proof and all, they had the rap. And basically, then it got me into G Unit, popping them thanks. Fuck, the beats on that thing, bro. I mean, it's just... you remember the music video?
Do you remember the music for Little Mama, show me how you do it? Shout out PN. PN had...
Exactly. Which one is that was in the club?
No. PN had... remember PN? Peter Ngethe? No. You of course remember Peter Ngethe, man. He had an elder brother who used to sell music in school. So when you go to his house, he had candy shop, all the latest stuff. But now, I wanna bring us back to the... Because it hit me the other day, way later after we started hanging out, about your first sip of booze.
Yes. Sorry, we're getting back to that. Maybe I can just give the story. So, this is now around break time, right?
So
this is from year 10. As we're chilling outside, Eric comes. What's up, my guy? You guys okay? And I didn't realize he was drunk because I didn't know what drunk was. Then he's like, you want to try this? I'm like, what? And it was like, I think it was like a green tea or something.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, what is it? Like, I'm like, what is this, Eric? He's like, alcohol. And then he offers everyone a sip. Now the thing is, the smell was staying. I'm not sure I think it was whiskey or something, right?
It was vodka. Very cheap vodka.
So the stench was there. So I think at that time there was the headmaster. I'm not sure if it was Mr. Washira or Mr. Joroge.
It was, I remember Shihemi being in that mix, Mr. Shihemi.
Exactly. So anyway, the smell was staying there. Now, our class is here and Eric's class is there. So the guy basically goes to Eric's class. He's like, where did there's alcohol? Who has alcohol over here? And no one snitches. Then he comes to our class. He follows the trail. I smell alcohol. Who has alcohol? Now, us, we've all kept quiet because snitching in Saints is basically a no-no. Now, there's a Jama called Mohammed Jaffa.
Jaffa's almost snitched on me.
Chill. So let me describe Jaffa, all right?
That was the case.
And to describe him, I'll take you back to a swimming lesson, lad. So Jaffa always walked like this. He was handicapped. Like, he had no strength. Guy couldn't lift anything. Even books was difficult for him. So in that particular swimming class, he had forgotten his swimming costume. So Mr. Kimani told him, go to Lost and Found and take a swimming costume.
They used to do that, yeah.
They used to do that. So the guy comes, we're all waiting in line, and all of a sudden, everyone is looking at Mohammed Jaffa.
And wait, before you get there, Lost and Found was some dusty-ass place with blazers, and on Fridays we used to wear first class uniforms, so it had a blazer.
Correct.
I was notorious for forgetting my blazer at home, so they used to make you go get a blazer from Lost Property, bro.
And things I've stayed for 6 months over there.
You look like a tramp. Like a bum in the
So
streets.
it's oversized coat and everything. So Mohammed Jaffa, all of a sudden everyone was looking at him and Mr. Kimani started laughing. Apparently, he had picked up an oversized swimming costume. And everyone was quiet. Now me, I turned to look. The biggest dick I've ever seen in my life.
Super pause, but yeah.
Bro, like seriously. And I was like, no wonder the rest of his body can't move because this thing is taking all the blood away from it.
Guys having headaches.
Bro, literally, he's walking like this because that thing, it's a nuclear reactor dick. So I was like, okay, that explains him being handicapped because that motherfucker over there. Anyway, that was Mohammed Jaffa. He was a teacher's pet with a big dick. Now, biggest I've seen, even Yanni Johnny Sins doesn't compare. So we're there, the teacher comes and says, if you guys don't tell us who is it, you're all getting Saturday detention. Mohammed Jaffa is like, it's Eric, sir. He came and he started giving everyone alcohol. I see Eric being taken.
And can I pause you here, because when we connected with Saj for, this is 2000 and what the story is telling, this happened in 2006.
Wow.
So I, till 2025, didn't know that it was Jaffa who snitched. It was always like, who snitched on me? And I blamed Philip Wandera. Philip Wandera, shout out Philip, is a friend of ours, friend of the show. He's now also doing big things. He's a pilot. He actually got his captain the other day. Shout out. For the longest time, I'm like, this guy snitched on me and we did this thing together.
Yes.
Like, what the hell is wrong with you? And we had our story straight. We rehearsed, we practiced, we had our story. But then now the facts that, because we used to have deans for each form.
Did you guys leave the chupa in our, I think you guys left the chupa in our class. That's what they found.
No, there was a bottle found in the bathroom that was not even ours. It was Bidali's. And
Yes.
he tried to use that as evidence. But his story was too exact. That's why I was like, aye. Someone snitched on me, like
Yeah.
Philip snitched. So years later, is when I'm finding out it was this.
Yeah, because we were all going to get Saturday detention. So us, we were like, I may have been to Sato classes. It's fun. You just sit and draw shit, you know. It's a way to pass
On the
time.
desks.
Mohammed Jaffa, clean record, blue tie. Oh, by the way, do you know I got a blue tie?
No way.
Yes. And this is actually so blue tie is
Prefect.
a prefect. I'm not sure if we talked about it on your podcast.
I don't think so.
Okay. This is in class 6 and 7. So they had junior school and they had senior school. So junior school, if you had blue tie, you were the prefect of junior school. They had a selection of people to keep everyone in order. And in senior school, we had black ties. And the black ties would basically, the blue ties would report to the black ties. Now for me, I was a criminal. Yani, I was a noisemaker. I was always getting detention. I just used to cause chaos in class. Just someone you couldn't control. Now I remember they were announcing the blue ties. There was William Otuke. You remember the short guy?
Yeah.
So everyone was like, William,
Jumpy guy.
William is going to get it from us. So William was there. So I'm standing. I'm already late. My tie is on the side. We're at the quadrangle for the meeting. Sajid Vayani, come up and get your blue tie. And William starts crying. And people are like, wait, go. I'm like, what? Because I wasn't even paying attention. Then Mr. Makumi was like, can you go and get your bloody blue tie? I'm like, me? Like, go. So me, I'm going up. Everyone is like, what? This must be a mistake. This criminal guy, how has he gotten a blue tie? So I figure up. Mr. Washira puts it on me. Where there is like, make us proud. Now, years later, I happened to run into Mr. Washira and Makumi. And I asked them, why did you guys make me a blue tie? I don't understand it. They were like, there were two ways this scenario would play out. We had the police, and then we had the head of the criminal organization, which was you. So we are like, why don't we make the head of the criminal organization and the head of the police the same person? Now he can feel the responsibilities because he has to report to the police and he has these guys.
Yeah.
So he will start keeping everyone in line. And that's what happened. Because now all of a sudden I'm in charge of all the noisemakers and I'm the noisemaker myself. I'm like, wait, guys,
Yeah.
And everyone came in line.
It worked out.
I mean, how brilliant was that?
Brilliant.
I mean,
And blue tie, black tie in Saints was the power. It was a powerful position to have.
we used to break with the headmaster on Friday, mandazis, sausages, kombis, every Friday.
My Seme's experience was initially, but now the older I get, I think it was a perfect school because it let us be. Like, if you are a guy of the arts, you would find your way. If you're a guy of the sciences, academics, you find your way. If you're a guy who was navigating life ki freestyle, ki unduzo, like me, you find your way. Like, somehow, it just taught you some
pockets for everyone, right?
some implicit things of life. You just learned them there.
It's still the same right now?
I don't know. I've not heard a much about it in a long time.
That's a vlog. Us revisiting Saints.
Saints, yeah, that should be dope.
And just talking. I think that we should do that.
Well, something I want to explore before we close. Recently got into a monogamous relationship. Just briefly, how's that been so far? Because my wife and your girlfriend are chilling outside.
Yeah.
Be bored.
Bro, it's been hard. But hard in the sense that like how working out is hard, but then you see the positivity at the end of it. For the longest time, I think that initial heartbreak that I had got me to a place where I never wanted to feel like that again. And what ended up happening was, as I became more financially independent, I was able to explore. Doing the YouTube gave me access to so many women, and I was just constantly ruffling through them. Breaking a lot of hearts, being a lying sack of shit.
The Bonnie Blue of guys.
Yani, it's just, the thing is, sometimes I want to thank porn because, sometimes you need it and you're like, let me just watch porn. And then you have the bust a nut moment and you're like, what was I thinking?
For clarity.
Bro, there's some mamas even I'm looking at. I'm like, I don't want to insult anyone, but...
Pre-nut obstruction will have you on a bus to Kitale.
So, you actually... Bro, I'll give you a story. There's a mama I met. Should I tell this story?
Be careful.
Did I tell you about the Syokimau mama?
Yes, the cycle.
Bro, so I picked up this mama at some ICT conference. Nice, good looking. And she followed me on LinkedIn. She messaged me on Instagram. And she's like, hey, I saw you at the conference. It was nice to see your talk. I was giving a talk. She's like, we should catch up sometime. I'm like, hi, Asa, this one is easy. So I invited her the next day to like industry get together. The next thing she's like, let's go back to my place. Where's your place? Syokimau. So I said, I've not figured Syokimau yet. So we head over there. We stop off. She gets some refreshments. We go to her place. She starts getting high. Like we picked up a JD bottle, right? And she downs it herself. I wasn't drinking.
Ooh, that's a red flag, bro.
So she starts getting crazier and crazier and crazier.
She downed a JD.
The whole thing.
Bruh.
And now she's acting crazy, yeah? So let's fast forward the finer details. It's time for me to go home. She's like, you motherfucking men all just want one thing. You're not leaving this place. And so I thought she was joking.
You're like, calm down.
And now she starts hitting me with the pillow. Right? She starts hitting me with the pillow. And I'm just ignoring her. So I get up to put on my pants. I just see something going past me. Bro, a shoe. Gongas. And then she starts throwing more stuff at me. And then she runs to the door. So me, I'm avoiding. I'm like, what the hell is going on? She closes it and throws the keys out of the balcony. Me, I'm now panicking. I'm like, this is a psycho bitch. I'm trying to open the door. I'm screaming. Nothing. She's hitting me on the back of my head. I break the window. I'm like, Askari.
You broke the window.
I had to break the window because no one could, like, they were all shut tight. Broke the window, screaming. The Askaris all came up. The neighbors all came up. She's gongaing me this entire time. Bro, they break down the door because it was a wooden door. Me, I get out. I bounce over there. I'm like, never again.
You get the younger audience watching. Look out for red flags. If a girl orders a Jack Daniels and downs it to the face, that is your cue to leave.
Yeah. But you see, all that, the thing is, again, I'm just revealing a lot. But I lost my virginity quite late. All right. So I think I must have been like 25. And that was it.
25?
25, bro. 25. I was never in a relationship. Again, it's...
Bro, so at 22, you're walking balls full. Like
bro, Yanni, I must have... Like, if you
dragging them on the floor.
If you take a UV light through my initial room, bro, you'll see stains everywhere. But I was just focused on studies. I was trying to make money. I was trying to get in shape. For me, I had body dysmorphia as well. I'm like, I'm not going to get laid until I get in a relationship. Like you have to get in order to get into a relationship, you have to be in the best shape possible. You have to earn a lot. So then after doing my master's, when I had transformed, I was like, all of a sudden I'm very confident. And I came back and I got into a relationship. But at the same time, my DMs were like jazzed. Women who I had never think of approaching because they're so pretty were all messaging me. But then I was in this committed relationship. All right.
I'm only going to focus on this
anyway,
one.
Anyway, I focused on it. It didn't end well. I'm like, sir, now
The floodgates.
parents are like, okay, it's time to get married. You're 26, 27. I'm like, no, it's time for me to have fun. And so 2-3 years of just wildness. Like going through all the rosters of the people I wanted to do. And at the end of it, what happened was I was like, it's just the same shit, man.
I think both points there are very important for a man. Both things you described there around the heartbreak is very important. You need to know that, that forever ever you thought is not necessarily the case, because it prepares you for the next thing. Even if it's marriage, at the back of your mind, you know it can at some point could end. It's not a thing that can't happen.
Yeah.
And you won't lose your shit. On the flip side, also that phase of let me explore to the very end, let me enjoy this buffet to the very end, to me is also a very important experience. You need to, because without either makes for a dangerous person. Yeah, because if you entered at the Vajo then rage, bro, when you reach 35, 37, you guys now you'd leave your office and you'd end up affecting somebody.
The sad thing is they were genuinely lovely people that I met.
Put them up on the screen right now.
But it just didn't work out because I wasn't at that place. I couldn't stay committed, right? And I would always be the one to break things because I didn't want it to go down that same path. And I was always that guy to look into a woman's past. Now, comparatively, if someone were to look at my past and judge me based on that, I would really stack up well.
We had this conversation.
And we had this conversation, and you gave me your example and what you've been through, and you have to find someone who sees the you now, right, and what you're willing to do. And outside, it's you, not your external. Like, it's no one else. It's you two at the end of it.
A mistake we like to do as people is like, give me validation for my choice.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, deep down, you know what's good for you. You know what's not good for you. So if you decide to commit, bro, fuck everyone, bro.
Yeah. And I think the thing is, you've sort of been a blessing in guiding me in that way. Iqbal as well. Iqbal, the calls he's gotten when I literally send him my location. I'm like, yo, this bitch crazy.
Yeah.
And he calls me in 1 hour. Are you okay? And he constantly do that. Like the late nights, he'd stay up just chilling for me to text. What I found is, obviously, I found a person that I get along with, has the same sort of banter. It's fun. It's nice. It's there. But beyond that, there's also, you remember you talked about the sexual security, which is very important for men.
Can I expound on that?
Yeah.
I feel like that's something I came up with.
You did.
Think of sex or the access to sex as a pantry in a kitchen. When your pantry is full of food, you're easy. You don't worry. It doesn't mean you're eating all the food at that one time, but when it's empty, you're worried and you're constantly thinking about how you're going to get food to put, or
Correct.
how am I going to get food? How am I going to eat? So, and I used the example of the squirrel in Ice Age. Put the squirrel in Ice Age on the screen.
Constantly chasing the nut.
That guy for 4 movies was chasing a nut.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
There's
that,
some deep undertones in that, yeah?
the underlying story in that thing was the hunt or the pursuit for sex in a man's life. When it's not there or assured, it becomes a complete distraction. And I always say, it doesn't mean now that when you have a committed partner who give you that sex that you want it all the time, or you're a raging bull, but you're just secure. You can just do whatever you think. Your things are not, your day is not planned around sex. Because I remember being single. A lot of times you plan, I need to do this so I can do this, so I can go there, so I can holler this, so I can send.
Yeah.
It's always like your...
Bro, and I mean, just to add on to that, like, this has given me, again, the cloudy aspect. Like, it's clear the fog because it's committing to one person, everything is over there. Before, from a financial standpoint, I've told you how much I've spent on in some months on mamas. And we're looking back at it, and I'm like, bros, like I would have bought plots of land combined over the years.
You'd have a full-fledged studio.
Like, seriously. And it gets you nowhere. You bust a nut and then you're back to square one, right? It's this cycle where I think we've been led to believe being the man, having multiple women at your disposal is supposed to be the iconic person. But to be honest, it takes more from you, because think about yourself. Again, the hypnotherapist told me is that, like, you're this scent, all right? And every time you go to someone, is that scent gets on them, and then you're just emptying your whole bottle, and all of a sudden you're nothing left as a scent, because all your energy is given off, right?
And think about the post-nut clarity leave alone when you do it yourself, but now when you do it with someone you've hunted down and you don't have any emotions attached. As soon as you bust around, it's like,
What the fuck am I doing?
the person talks and you're like, like you
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like there's a famous meme of Gucci Mane, and then the meme says that when she tries to talk to me after I've already busted that, and the guy is like, I want to fly away, like literally, and that's like you want to literally just disappear into the wall.
Yeah, I mean, to answer your question, it's a beautiful thing. It's taking a lot of work on my end. The person I'm seeing is very patient with me. She understands all the trauma and stuff I've been through. For me, it's hard because there's something about being in a relationship and all of a sudden there's more attention coming. So it's my Instagram now. I just don't even look at my DMs unless it's from someone I know. I'm just constantly having to block that. But it's given me discipline. I have a very structured day. I have very structured things to do. I'm not getting distracted. And it's leading up to something that hopefully, inshallah, goes the distance, So we're working. I know you.
Buddha, sorry. It's not.
Yeah, but just I don't know. I get nervous talking about relationships.
I think on a bro level, we covered quite a bit in terms of things that are relevant to men and younger men, older men, and people who just want to improve themselves generally, because we started off with a fitness journey.
Yeah.
Of course, like we said, that we want our audience to keep us accountable, put our best foot forward, no bitching, no moaning, soldier boy through all of it. We've touched on so many different things. I think this is an important episode, and like we agreed periodically, we're gonna do a check-in.
We have to.
So let's vow now that the next episode we're coming in with our first measurements, and that one probably on coffee pump, and then now subsequently we'll do it like that, Eotwe, and every week there's an accountability. And accountability means, and I hope this doesn't happen, but God forbid you slack or I slack, still show up for the pod.
Yeah, we have to.
And be accountable.
Be accountable. That's the main thing, is we're pushing ourselves to the point where for every misstep I have, you're there to sort of pick me up and vice versa. And our community that we're building over here, they'll keep us accountable. We're keeping them accountable. We want to create a united front in bettering yourself as a person, right? And we want to create this community centered on that. The other thing is for sponsors again. One thing is, I know we'll work with different sponsors, but I genuinely want us to work with sponsors that can help better ourselves, right? Coffee is something we drink. Coffee is on board for both of us, taking it to the next level with them, getting a supplement company to be part of this, right? Because we're promoting pro branded items that can genuinely benefit folks. Gyms, we partner with a gym. Maybe we partner
Apple
Marathon.
Watches.
Apple. Yeah, exactly. Apple. We like, if you guys know of brands that want to work with us, we're open to do it as long as it's aligned to our vision. As much as I was cracking a joke about betting, betting is a detriment.
Yeah.
They'll give us the money. Alcohol is a detriment. They'll give us the money. They have the budget, but this is not what we want to encourage our audience to sort of go down, right? We want to have brands and sponsors that will make our community genuinely better, men and women.
I have nothing more to add to that. All I'd have to add to that is, if you've reached this point in the episode and you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. I also want to specifically mention that we have a membership on Eotwe, and we're going to be putting episodes earlier. So you get the perks of early episodes. Eventually we're going to put some BTS. So it's a very small amount. We have different tiers for $1.50 or $5. Support the cause. It goes a long way. So the diehard fans, go check out. If you're struggling to find the join button on your phone, please just use your laptop or your iPad. Actually, no, your laptop. And when you're on Eotwe on YouTube, you'll find the join button. Click the join button. Join the first or second tier. It will be really good for us. It's been an amazing episode of Eotwe. The journey continues. I feel inspired, and I guarantee you, I give you my word in front of camera that I'm going to see this journey through. I'm going to make sure this homie of mine here also sees this journey.
You're going to say this chuti.
And in 6 months, we'll sit here and just be like, wow, we did this.
Let me pay you a compliment before we close. There's a particular guest you had on, Farid Kimani. I thought he was a piece of shit. And I didn't pay attention to him. For me, my opinion on him, I don't even like this guy. You actually humanized him as a person and changed my opinion of him. So I appreciate that. He's a fascinating individual. He's someone I genuinely love to meet. And I think there's a talent that you bring to it where you bring out the person, the individual, and completely change my opinion. And there are very few podcasts that do that. So I appreciate that. And again, shout out to Farid, the journey he's walked through. Stay strong, man.
It's an honor for you to say that because part of mantra for every other time with Eric to humanize person behind persona. Shinte kindly. Every time with Eric, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap. Cheers, guys. Thanks, bro.
That's nice, bro.